City Skylines II is a game that prides itself on being one of the most accurate simulators of city building ever. However, as you'll find out through this video, this is a lie. A very, very well built lie, and still a very, very fun lie. But we will explore how this comprehensive city builder actually works, and the flaws and the things that are broken in the game. Let's begin. So, I stumbled across this big review, and I want to shout out to Dale Kent for this. And it's a very, very interesting review, because unlike others which is just short and says, oh, it's bad or something like that, it dives into depth of what they don't like. So, it's quite a good review. So let's start off. He starts off by saying that he tried to like it, and he ignored the performance issues and bugs and all of that because it's all short-term problems, and there will be patches coming. However, there are many more bigger issues that there is with this so-called comprehensive city builder, which makes it, as he says, the most fake city builder of them all. So, first of all, apparently the economy is broken. This is something I've also found in my own games. It's that goods in your city aren't actually traded, and import and export won't actually do anything. I've noticed this as well. I noticed that the deficit screen and all of that produce screen has no effect on your city. It's just like a red bar that you want to make green. It has no effect. Trucks don't deliver goods to your stores, train station, ports, or airports. Transportation networks never pick it up or deliver it off map. Nothing uses your produced goods. There is no cargo traffic in your city. Because there's no simulation of producing goods, transporting them to your shops, and then Sims buying those goods, it's all completely fake. Colossal Order has confirmed this on Paradox forums, and I actually have seen those things on the Paradox forums. I've seen screenshots of it that's of Colossal Order themselves saying that this is an issue. But will they fix it? I don't know. Now, the progression system is broken. So, as you might know, City Skylines 2 does not work on a population-based progression system like City Skylines 1 did. Instead, it works on XP. And he brings up a very, very important point that I cannot believe Colossal Order did not find out before this. And that is, you can just place something and then bulldoze it, and you'll still keep the XP. You can do nothing, and you can get the biggest city. So it's a massive, massive issue. Now, as we go deeper, it only gets worse. People don't actually go to work. For me, this is one of the most game-breaking things out of all of this. People don't go to school. Like, if you have a city of 5,000 people, you notice the streets are empty. They're so empty. Or even 30,000. You don't see 30,000 cars. And I know not everyone's driving or not everyone's taking the public transport or something. Some people just like to sit at home, but come on. It's nothing. So, as he says, when you follow them, they actually don't go to work. They will just get in their cars or walk to the tram or whatever, jump on, and then do a circuit back home. Or they'll arrive at work and get straight back onto transport again to come home. Kids do not leave the house. They will stay in their homes, not going to school. The whole rush hour thing is a joke. Basically, the Sims simulation is fake. And this, the big ticket item that the game is sold on. A simulation of each individual Sim going about their world, doing what they do. Living, growing, posturing, dying, and it's all faked. Another thing I actually have noticed in my games. Sometimes I just like to follow some of my Sims. I like to see them walking around and all that. But I began to notice that once they reach school, they would just sit like on a bench or something and then turn around. Like, what's the point? They sit in their car for what probably is like in game time the equivalent of an hour or something, only to go immediately back home. There's no rush hour because of it, and it kind of makes you feel that schools are just useless or they're just giving you buffs based on where you put them, which is very sad actually for this game. Now, the city only ever demands low density housing, never anything else. Now, this is another thing that I'm really pissed about, because something I loved about City Skylines 1 is once you unlocked high density residential, you could just spam it, and it didn't matter. And I loved high density residential because it means I didn't have to make like the biggest sprawling suburbs ever because some people want to live in huge houses. It's stupid. And then it does make sense that in this game there's more low density housing and it's all split up because some people, they don't want to live in high density housing. But it's so broken. There's at least 5 times as much low density housing as there is mid density or something along the lines of that. It's very, very annoying and frustrating too when you try and have a nice like European city or something where you don't have sprawling suburbs that you can only get to by car or something like that. You don't need to build any city services. It all comes in really cheaply off the map. It's cheaper to import all services. Now this is something that I have actually not noticed, but apparently I think as I will play along I'll notice it more and more. And that is, there's actually a system in this game to import and export services. Now, unlike the produce, this actually works. But it's very, very upsetting because, well, it just seems like there's no point in building anything yourself when just everything is easier to get off map. Now, maintenance and expansion is not balanced at all. For some buildings, it's cheaper per unit to build a new one, and some are cheaper just to expand. For instance, water pumps gives an example. Now, I love the new upgrading feature. I haven't used it that much, but I think I probably will. It's very nice, but I do see its flaws, where you're just at the stage of why upgrade when you can just build a new one. Now, obviously, there are some space concerns and all that, but he does raise a pretty good point here. Now, the traffic AI is absolutely stupid and retarded. I have also noticed this one, and it's upsetting. It's really mad. It's really annoying. Because in my own games, there will be like the stupidest car who decides to turn across 3 lanes of traffic just because he like forgot to turn to an intersection or something. Like, I know that happens in real life, but not that often, man. Like, come on, it happens in every intersection. This is just retarded ass car. The AI is crazy. Yeah, they'll do U-turns in the middle of highways. They'll stop in the middle of road. They'll cause the biggest traffic jam just to reach like some shitty turn that the game decided they needed to go on. Oh yeah, and what's worse is when you turn, like let's say you do a U-turn and there's no traffic lights. You need to check if there are any cars coming. They just turn anyways. They don't care if there's a horde of cars coming. They'll just turn and get into a massive car crash. The economy. The economy is extremely frustrating. There are no small town service buildings, so to cater for your citizen demands, you need to build service buildings priced for cities much larger than what you have. This results in grinding your city's economy into the ground. The only way to do this is to largely ignore city services until at least 25k population, when your tax revenue is starting to pay for those demanded services. All the while, the annoying fucking bird building icons radio announcements will continue harping on about all the citizens' demand. Alright, this is also a bit annoying. I can have the best goddamn system in the world, and that fucking chirper will still go, beep beep, no, I'm upset, this is bad. Something like that. It's very, very frustrating. Off-map servicing. The whole off-map servicing of your citizens is quite simply extremely flawed at its foundations. When you utilize off-map services, the price of those services do not adjust to cater for simple economic principle of supply and demand. You can pump as much electricity off the map as you can, and the game will continue to give you the same high price for each megawatt hour. Same as importing map services. Using off-map fire services will remain the extremely cheap price no matter how many fires they have to come and put out. Now, this one is also pretty sad, but I understand that they didn't put in an entire economic system. I know it's a city builder, but it's not economy simulator. So I understand why they didn't do that, but it's still just a little annoying thing. The garbage system. The incinerators will apparently get garbage from off the map to burn, rather than burning your own. If this is true, because I've not noticed this in game, this is crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So, what's the point of building an incinerator then? There's just a more expensive coal power plant. So that's the end of this review. And I do think it makes some very, very good points. But is this a game breaker for me? No. I love City Skylines II. It's an amazing game. I have many play hours with it. I have currently 30 hours, and I bought it last week. So, yeah, I sure do love City Skylines 2. Those issues, though, it makes me think every time I'm playing the game. I'm like, oh, well, what's the point of doing this if my citizens won't actually go there? Which is a very true and a very, very sad point for me. But I still love the game nonetheless. So I want to thank Colossal Order for giving this, and I want to thank you viewers for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is just some information for you guys to tell you that this city builder might not be what it was promised to be, but in the end I still recommend you get it. It's still pretty fun. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Goodbye.